So most people think that magicians can only cull one card or control one card at a time. And if you've just learned that single card spread cull, you might assume that that is your limit. But here's the magician's truth. You could steal multiple cards smoothly and invisibly during one spread. And it's a sleight that unlocks stacked forces, secret setups, and complete deck control. Now in this tutorial today, I'm going to show you how to cull 2 or more cards without interrupting the spread. We're going to talk about what spacing and timing actually matters. And we're going to go through a proven practice routine to help you build flow and confidence. And don't worry, we're going to cover questions that you might have, especially as a beginner. Let me show you what the technique actually looks like. So what I want to say is I'm going to control the 4 aces. So we're going to bring the 4 aces to the top of the deck here. And right now it is the 10, 9, 8, and 6 there. That's what's on top of the deck here. But we're going to go through, we're going to control the aces here as we go through the deck. And what's going to happen is we're going to bring all the aces to the top. And I know this is looking, again, we just learned how to do the techniques here. So I know it's a little bit clunky, but here we go. We brought the 4 aces to the top of the deck. And these were the 4 cards that were at the top there. Let's break it down step by step. But this time let's look for the kings. So we'll just throw those aces aside for now. We really don't need them. But before we spread through, you want to kind of glimpse to see where your first one is at. So while you're talking to the audience, you know, you're going to kind of look, just make sure they're not together, not towards the top of the deck here. And if they are towards the top of the deck, you can actually do like, you know, a cut to get them to a different location. But our first king is going to be a little ways down here, so we have some room to get set up and that. So what you want to do is you want to, you know, first cull some kind of random card. Let's just take the 3 of spades here, and we're going to get that one all the way here first. So now what happens is it's on the bottom or the top of the deck here. And I'm going to do that again, so that way you guys can see. We're going to come in, we're going to cull it. And now what happens is the rest of the cards we're going to cull, which are the kings, is going to be a lot easier to do now that we have a card culled, because we can keep on doing our accordion style, and all we're doing is we're sliding the cards in, and I'm doing it from this angle so you guys can see it. When we come to the king, instead of going underneath, we're going to go there, and we're going to pull it through, and then we'll go back to just culling the rest of these cards, or spreading the rest of these cards. Again, I see the king, we put it through underneath, and we just keep on culling again. Okay, here we got 2 kings in a row. So all we're going to do is we're going to come in, steal, steal, go back to spreading underneath. Okay, and there's our 4 kings. Okay, we can do it again with the queens. So I'll do it once from this view here, okay? So we're not down too far, so now instead of stealing another card, I'm gonna probably steal that queen right away, okay? And probably sit here and talk with you guys, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in, we're gonna put the cards on top, we'll steal the next one, and all I did is I slid so I can get my cards back into the groove that I wanted to do here, that I want the cards to go into. And there's our last queen, and pull through, okay? And now we got all 4 queens on top. Now we can go through with the jacks. So I'm gonna do it once from this view now. So we're going through, we'll just call that 7 of diamonds, come through, cull it. So that way we have the 7 diamonds on the bottom. Here's our first jack. And all we're going to do is come in, just pull it, and keep on spreading through. So hopefully that angle's coming through on the video. And these were kind of like back to back here, these jacks here. They came through, and we just spread it through, okay? So there's our 4 jacks. Let's do the 10 here. just going to bury that 10. Come through. We're going to see the 10 right away. So we're just going to do the cull with the 10 right away. Cull. And keep on the spread. Cards are sneaking out the back, and that's why it's important to keep your pinkies in the bottom of the deck here, so that way you don't have them sliding out like that. So hopefully that can help you a little bit there and show you guys how to do the multiple card spread cull. Okay, so a pro tip might be, make sure that you let that right hand packet get messy, and that's going to help spread it or help hide your culls in that. A slight natural disarray, and when you do this rhythm thing that I taught you during the single card spread cull, it kind of gives it a rhythm. It's also that accordion style, but it also gives a rhythm to keep that pack here messy to help hide that cull, but it also makes it mesmerizing. It helps hide that cull, so that way when you do that, you're not making it out of rhythm. This is constantly going up and down as you do the cull. You want to also make sure that you maintain that slight tilt forward here as you're doing it as well. So that way, hopefully you can hide the cull as you pull the card through. Let's break down a few things that beginners always want to know. First thing is, start by culling only 2 or 3 cards. So let's just pick a random card. Let's pick the 9 of diamonds here that we're going to cull. And we're going to come in, we're going to see it, we're going to bury it, throw our thumb on top, pull it through. Okay, so that card is culled right now. And then we're just going to pick another 9 here. Okay, coming through, and we're just going to slide underneath here. So just do 2 cards. So there's our 2 9s. And then go through and maybe pick the next 2 9s. So there's our first one, pull it in, cull it, coming through, looking for that second 9. There it is. We'll cull it, and we'll keep on with our rhythm here. So there's your 2 next 9s. Okay. So pick 2 or 3 cards to start off with it, and once you feel that you can do that cleanly, then you could start doing more cards. And remember, most routines won't require more than 3 or 4 cards to be culled. Some do, some don't. I mean, you could technically come through and multiple cull all the reds to the top and the blacks to the, blacks to the top, reds to the bottom here. And this is gonna this is something I'm practicing right now, so it's not as clean, but it can be done. And I'm doing it very clunky, but I'm also able to do it, if you will. And for something like this, you might want to, take a little bit of a bigger spread when you do that. It's very clunky, but it's done here. So that way I have all of the reds here, and all the blacks here is what I just did for that cull at that time. We'll say we're going to slowly spread cull the aces. So we're just going to come in, spread it, or cull it. And we're just going to work on it really super slow, so that way we can get it down and hopefully make it so it's not terribly visible. Remember to keep that slight forward angle on the deck there. Okay, tip number 3, you're going to try to keep the right hand pack loose and natural. This is a brand new deck, but the cards are just sliding in there. So when we're doing this, we want to keep it loose, natural. And I have very little pressure down on that thumb. And the reason I do this is that way when I'm doing this, I'm using those fingers to pull the cards through. And the last thing you want to do is make sure that if you do this straight accordion method, make sure that everything is lined up. So we're going to call the 6 of hearts there. So we're going to make sure that everything is lined up, so that way when I do that cull, you're not going to be able to see it as easily come through. So Make sure that everything is lined up. And remember, we're looking for that 6 of hearts there. Okay. One tip you could do is use a mirror, or you can record your practice sessions and use it, make sure you do it from an audience's perspective so that way you can see what the audience is seeing when you're recording it. Remember that this technique is not about speed, it's about flow. And once you learn to cull multiple cards without losing rhythm, it's going to open the door to some incredible stacked routines. Now what I want you to do is I want you to click over here on this link here, and I'll bring you over to the playlist that'll go through our journey from start to where we're at right now, and I'll show you exactly how we got here. My name is Joe. This is my card magic journey. Let's make it yours too.